Hey guys, I just want to give you a little information on exactly what goes into the tech pack and how you'll create it. So this is just a short video where I'm going to walk through it just like we would in class. Here is your Blackboard homepage. Yours might look a little different than mine, but it should still have this content on the side. That's where you're going to find all the content for the course. So I've got the weekly folders, and I've also got a little bit of reference information here. So we're in this week right now, online week 3, where if you click on it, it actually has all the information for what we're about to do, individual tech pack assignment. So that's going to be the info that you need. And then also if you go back here under, tech pack examples, they'll have tons of different tech pack examples that should help you in whatever different garment you are doing a tech pack for. So you've got a button-down shirt, a bra, jeans, pants, skirt, t-shirt, women's outerwear, and women's tank tech pack. So lots of different examples to look at to kind of give you an idea of what you need to do for your garment. If you've got a combo like a jumpsuit, you could do a little bit of the pant and a little bit of a top and kind of combine the two bits of information to get the most out of what you're doing. So again, I'm going to pull up the assignment and it kind of says what we need for our tech pack. Every designer does this a little bit differently, so I sort of went through some things that I'm personally looking for that you can get the best grade. So let's pull up the women's tank tech pack. This is made in Excel, so it's a multi-page document, but see all the pages are down here at the bottom. So if you click front, it kind of gives me the very first page of the tech pack down here, number 1. So each page begins with some kind of header and it's consistent throughout. You can see that each page has that exact same header. Scroll up so you can see. So that's going to be the same on every single page, just makes it really easy to see. Say you were sending this to a factory, one page got lost, it would be really clear where it belonged. So the header that you're going to create, I definitely usually make this in Excel and then copy and paste it and just move it right over to another document like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Publisher, Photoshop, some kind of program where I can build the document and easily pop in text, pop in an image, pop in whatever I want. I don't find Excel as easy to do the entire tech pack in. I don't really love Excel for lots of reasons, but whatever works for you, you can definitely give it a try. So going back to the assignment, so on our heading, I want every heading to include these things. So your name, your personal name, your designer, so Calvin Klein, Michael Kors, Levi's, the season that you're designing for, maybe you give a style number or a style name to your garment, size range, so what sizes this could be available in, like is it in small, medium, large, is it in sizes 0 to 12, whatever it is that you're doing for your particular product. And then what size your fake sample is. So whatever garment that you're looking at to measure, maybe that's a size 2, maybe it's a size 12, whatever it is, you say that's your sample size, the date, and then the fabrication. And that's what is the fabric made of. So the fabric content, like cotton, and then also the fabric name, like denim. So we'll go back to ours and we'll kind of see what they did. So they did some of those same things, style number, season, style name. They'll show the brand, the designer, the size range. This goes anywhere from 4 to 18, but their sample size they're showing is a size 8. The date, and here's fabrication, where they've clearly got a style number for their fabric, but the fabric itself is Georgette. So that's going to be the same throughout this header. So you kind of create that here. They've like kind of given it, this is their brand, this is the front view, you know, they're going to show some consistency throughout every page. And so the first page is going to be in this one particular, it's the front technical sketch. I don't mind also if you do the front and back on one page together, you can just make them smaller and kind of squeeze it in, however works for you. But you can see this is their technical sketch. It's really simple. It looks like you've put the garment flat on a table and you've drawn it out as neatly as possible. You can see these are the darts. this is top stitching that they're indicating, so they can show you where that is, and they can show you how this is even turned over kind of like a t-shirt and has like a little trim around, so you can see the darker lines there. However, you can indicate all of your details. Here's their back view, so they've got that exact same header, and it just shows the exact same thing from the back. If I was drawing this, I wouldn't draw it twice. I would just trace it. I would use the front exactly like the back, make any little changes I need to, and then you've got the back of your garment. I want you to have a details page, so some kind of page that shows these pop-outs, these details, like how the sleeve might be put together, how the collar might be put together, how the shoulders are put together, a detail like a pocket, something like that. We kind of go over this in the requirements. So you need a front and back technical sketch, as we just said, and you need a details page, which shows pop-outs of the garment's details. I just want something to see that you know how to do that. The next thing I'm asking you for is points of measure, which is POM. So this is going to be all the measurements for the garment. So where have they got theirs? Here, points of measure. So again, they've got that same header. They show that technical sketch off to the side, and then they've got a list of measurements. This piece of text here, let me see if I can highlight it without making it all weird. This is something I would definitely create in Excel. I would make this as a mini spreadsheet, and then I would just copy and paste it, just like I've got it copied right now, and then I would paste it into like a Word document, or again, Publisher, something like that, so that I can have this really nice, neat kind of grid that looks nice and easy to understand. You can decide what measurements you want to put here. You can look through the tech pack examples that I've put up. I'm going to upload some different ones as well, because again, there's tons of different styles. When I do it, I do a slightly different style. You decide what are the most important measurements. Definitely things like chest, the waist, maybe how long it is, how big the neck opening is, things like that. Just think about what are the most important measurements. Imagine that you're sending this off to a factory and they need to replicate what you've done based on just your measurements. So what they're doing here is listing what the actual measurement is, you know, the shoulder point to point, and then they even show you with this little code, which you can come up with something like this, T to A, that's where this measurement comes from. So they're actually showing you, look, from this point to this point is going to be the shoulder point to point, that very specific measurement. And in this case, they're saying it's 15 inches. That's why they've done that here. This tolerance section, you don't really have to worry about, but they're saying that it can be off by about 1/4 of an inch, and they're okay with that. They're not going to reject it if it comes back 1/4 of an inch too big or 1/4 of an inch too small. So that's what that is. And then again, all of these, it's a code to kind of show you, you know, from T here to F. Let's find what that is. That's the chest. And they're telling you that it's 1 inch from the armhole. So they're just giving you all the details. So they're saying we didn't measure the chest, you know, right from that pit to that pit, that armpit to that armpit. We actually dropped down 1 inch, and that's where we got the chest measurement from. 1 inch down from the armpit over across to 1 inch down from the armpit on the other side. Does that make sense? And here they're saying the chest is 40 inches. That's probably the total measurement. Sometimes you'll see this and the chest might be, it'll just show the front chest, like just the front of the garment from one side to the next, and then the back of the garment would have one side to the next. And if, say, you added that all together, that's your measurement all around, if that makes sense. But in this case, I just know from knowing what these numbers should look like that 40 inches is probably the total chest size for this all the way around. There's lots of different ways to do this. I'm going to post another video where I'll show you how I do measurements, but I just want you to start trying and start kind of understanding how it works. A measurement that I don't even know if I see in here. Oh yeah, front length. I was going to say, does it say like the whole length? Maybe they just don't show it as one of these arrows. They show how far the neck drops down in the front, how far it drops down in the back, things like that. And you're going to customize your little set of measurements based on what you've got going on. If you had a sleeve here, then you would have a sleeve length and a sleeve opening and things like that. They have a sleeve opening. They have it listed, but then it's just not applicable because there's no sleeve. So you can take things off that are here if you don't need them, and you can add things if you do need them. Hopefully that makes sense. But this is your point of measure page, which shows all of your measurements. Grade page we will not have. I kind of talked about this, I believe, in the assignment. Um, this is to show all the different measurements for all the different sizes. And see, there's their sample size. We're just going to do one sample size. So we don't need this page at all. Don't worry about it. What we do need is this bill of materials page. So again, header is the same. But this is where we list all the different materials that go into this garment to make it so that we can figure out what our cost is. So they're saying they've got a woven plain georgette fabric. It's 100% viscose. The placement is the body of the garment. This is going to make more sense if it's, hidden somewhere. They're saying where they get it from, Imprimi, Thailand. The width of the actual fabric, and then the finish, it's a peach and it's washable, and then you can say how much here. And then what I've asked you to do is to add one more category and to put the cost over here. So I'm going to go back to our assignment sheet where we talk about that. So again, bill of materials, it's going to show the fabric name, the fabric content, the supplier of the fabric, the amount, the width, and the price. So that then we could easily see that actually cost us $20 in this example for this fabric that's listed here. Okay, so we'll do that all the way down. They show the lining. Looks like there's a little bra keeper that they sew on. They show the thread. They show the label, the hang tag, the retail ticket, the poly bag that it ships in, the safety pin for the hang tags, all of that. Now, they don't have this in this example tallied up into a total, but I want you to. That way we can easily see what the total amount of this garment, the total cost of all the materials would be. And then they've got a construction notes page. So this would be talking about the way that they're going to finish anything, talking about any closures. Maybe you might have another sketch here if you needed to show how you were sewing something together. Let me see how I mentioned this. Construction notes. Yes, you're just going to talk about the type of stitching and finishing your garment will have. And this is a place that I want you to label your pattern pieces, right? So in this case, with this tank top, your pattern piece is like one front and one back, two pieces, because this is a very simple tank top. If you also had a sleeve, you would say two sleeve pieces. If this had a collar, you'd say one collar, something like that. So it's a good place to list all of your components and then just talk about how it's sewn together. Does it have a lining? Is it sewn at a 1/2 inch? Does it have a top stitch? Things like that. And then your last page is for your labels. So you're going to have your same header like you always do. And you're going to show me your actual label. See how they've got that look? It looks like it's ready to be sewn into a garment. And here it actually shows you how it would be sewn into a garment. It's sewn right under that turnover for the collar kind of neckline bit, right? And then they show you this is the care tag that's sewn into the side like you usually see with garments. They're even showing you here how you would fold it to ship it, how they want to have it received. A lot of times when factories make your products, they make it and they don't ship it back to you. They would ship it directly to the store that bought it from you. So you would never see it. So you might want to tell them these exact details of how you want it to look when it goes to be put into the store. So that way it's going to look just like you would want it. It would look really nice when the store receives it. So again, your label page is where you're going to show your actual size and color and how you want it to be attached of your label and also your hang tag. And that is pretty much all of the components for the tech pack. You, again, can design this in any way that you like, but I would like it saved specifically as one document. I don't want multiple pages of your tech pack. Just like this is actually one document, Women's Tank Tech Pack. It's a spreadsheet, and so it's multiple pages within that one document. But if I was to send this to someone, It's just one document. It's really easy to open, really easy to understand. So save it as one document. You can save it as a PDF. You can save it as a Word doc. If you really want to build it as a PowerPoint presentation, you can, but those are really going to be the only things I kind of accept. You can do it as a spreadsheet like they've done it if you really want to.